Rachel Zegler has very quickly become a Hollywood it girl because she is not afraid to use her platform to push social justice. She is somebody who is not afraid to voice her opinions online. She's not afraid to attack her haters, and she now is being nominated as Woman of the Year. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, we all have been talking about Rachel Zegler because she's been in Hollywood failure after failure after failure, but she is somebody who they continue to push into the spotlight because she's an activist. She's not afraid to voice her opinions, and she's not afraid to attack the chuds, and that is exactly what they are talking about in this article. They're saying she's a Woman of the Year, she's been nominated, she deserves so much credit, but yet they sit here and attack her critics. And I think that this is always so hilarious because, sure, she can sing pretty well. I wouldn't say she's the best singer ever, but she's got a pretty powerful voice, and they could just talk about her talent. But instead, they decide to go on and on about her time at Disney, about how people were so mean to her, and they even compare her to Princess Diana, which is absolutely wild. So this is an article by Glamour. It says, Rachel Zegler, Fire and Grace, from West Side Story to Snow White to Evita, the rising star is building a powerful platform, and she isn't afraid to use it. I'm not going to read this entire thing because, as you can see, it's pretty freaking long. I mean, they're really sitting here doing their best to shill for Disney and Hollywood, and it's not really that shocking. But of course, when you're damage controlling for an actress because you happen to like her activism, yeah, that's going to get called out. So it says Rachel Zegler has had a year of two halves. She started it as a Disney princess who was labeled something of a bad apple by tabloid press and is ending it revered as the West End frontwoman du jour, playing one of history's most divisive characters, Ava Perrin, which I think is so funny that they start off with that because she is a bad apple. She is somebody who attacks fans of the series and the content she's working on. She is somebody who wears no tears left to cry sweaters to try to own the haters. She's somebody who goes on social media and tries to act like the victim. She needed better PR way sooner than Disney gave it to her. She needs to learn that she is representing a product, representing a company. And I'm not saying that, oh, she can't voice any of her opinions online, but you don't attack the people you need to make money from, and that's exactly what she did. So it talks about how audiences descended in droves to watch her sing Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, now restaged ingeniously for the public on the London Palladium balcony. To say that hearts have been stolen is an understatement, and it's hard to think of a more dramatic reversal of public opinion since Princess Diana came out in that revenge dress. There's no way you are actually legitimately comparing Rachel Zegler to Princess fucking Diana. That is wild, and just goes to show that it's not about actually being honest. It's about damage controlling for this actress because they like her. It says it was her casting as the princess in the 2025 live-action Disney reboot Snow White that truly positioned Zegler as a new kind of star, young, outspoken, and unwilling to kowtow to parts of the Hollywood machine that might prefer women to sit down, shut up, and be grateful. This is basically Glamour just saying, yes, queen, continue to be extremely divisive, continue to ruin your public image, because that is exactly what Rachel Zegler did. Nobody said that she couldn't have any opinions, but she was, first of all, acting in a children's movie, so you'd think that she would actually want to have a good public image, but putting even that aside, she shouldn't have come out and called the original weird, said that the prince was creepy, said that he was a stalker, attacked attacking the original material is instantly going to push people away. Yeah, how did Snow White do at the box office? Not very good, and that is partially because of Rachel Zegler. Sure, she didn't write the script. It's not her decision what lines made it into the movie, but we did hear that during production, she was basically demanding certain changes, that the romance be minimized a little bit, and she got her way. Keep in mind, this movie made $205 million at the box office, and it needed to make $250 million to even cover Disney's costs. So this movie was a complete and utter failure, and maybe it's because Rachel Zegler was attacking people. Maybe it's because she wasn't actually acting like an actress who people take seriously. She was acting like a child on social media. It says first came the right-wing backlash against someone of Latina descent. Her mother was born in the US to Colombian immigrants, playing a princess with skin as white as snow. It would have been perfectly fine if they, I don't know, made a new character that she fit the description of, hired her to play a character she fit the description of, but she didn't. You shouldn't rewrite and completely ignore certain very important elements of characters in order to hire somebody like Rachel Zegler. If you really believe that she's talented, put her in a different role and allow her to thrive. Allow her to make her mark on your company and on a series and in Hollywood, but instead, they didn't do that. They knew she was probably going to face backlash the same way Halle Bailey did. She is also a pretty good singer, but she didn't fit the description of Ariel. And this is why all of their movies have failed, because these characters don't fit the description. They're modernized slop fests, and nobody wants to support actresses that take to social media and go into interviews and attack the original fan base. That's terrible. They shouldn't be doing it. They frame her as the victim for facing backlash over her statements about Prince Charming being a guy who literally stalks Snow White, saying always remember Free Palestine on X after the release of the film's trailer, and she was frequently blamed for the film's stumble at the box office. I don't think she's the only reason why this movie failed, but I do think that she's at least 50% of the reason. Honestly, I'm a duck, she says today of criticism. It rolls right off my back these days. Her candor hasn't been dented. This is a woman who clearly feels and cares deeply about the world. Zegler still thinks it's important for actors to speak freely, and I think this is so funny that they believe she's being genuine, even though she's an actress. It's her job to act. Maybe she's actually a half-decent actress. I don't know. I've never seen her in anything that I've personally enjoyed her in. I think she's got a good voice. I think she'd do amazing on Broadway, and of course, she's done some plays. She played Eva Perrin, which she apparently did a really good job at. I personally believe that they are positioning her to play Christine in Phantom of the Opera. Andrew Lloyd Webber seems to really like her. I don't know if she'd be a good pick for that role either, but for having opinions while being good at her job, she's been branded controversial by tabloids. What keeps her grounded despite all the noise? My love for the work. I am the one who showed up and did my work every day. Nobody can ever take that away from me. I made lifelong friends on that job, she says of her experience of Snow White. That's kind of family that doesn't get dissipated by online discourse. She also talks about Shazam! Fury of the Gods and how she made some friends on that set. So really, they start off with just talking about how she's a victim and everyone's been mean to her, but the haters aren't gonna keep her down. The rest is really just talking about her career and singing and acting, and how she's talking about that, you need to have complete control over your performance and you're showing the audience your version of the final cut every night. She doesn't really talk anymore about, the backlash, but it starts off that way, which is wild. They thought that this was really going to be a good decision, that they thought, you know what, let's add all this about her being a victim into this piece, but it's not really that shocking, I suppose, given Hollywood has really wanted to prop her up over the years. So it seems Rachel Zegler cannot stop making controversial statements and attacking her critics, because now she's gone into another interview and they've made that a pretty big focus of it. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.